Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades, and I am back again, ready to talk about Married at First Sight UK Series 8, and we are now on episode 4. Before I get into it, I will say that when it comes to Love is Blind, because I am going to be doing Love is Blind season 5 as well, I understand that there are 4 episodes already aired, and I will be doing videos for those episodes over Monday and Tuesday, because the next episodes of those are not back on until the 29th of September. And then after I've done those episodes, I will be back on to Married at First Sight UK. So don't go anywhere. Like, before we start this episode of Married at First Sight UK, as I always say, please hit that notification button. I should say, please hit that subscribe button, then hit that notification button so now you know when I am back on and doing videos. And let's get into this again. Married at First Sight UK Series 8, and we are now on episode 4. So with this episode, we see another 4 couples getting married. Okay, we see another 4 couples that have been picked by the experts in order to get married. So now we see Peggy. Peggy still lives at home with her parents and has done for some time. She is basically the apple of the eye. I think she's the youngest of the family, and she does want to get married. She wants to have something for herself and call her own, and she had been stopping at home in order to care for both her parents, because her dad basically was going through pancreatic cancer, and she wanted to be there for him and for her mother at the same time. So the experts have kind of paired her with Georges, I should say, who's French, and gathers himself as a bit of a playboy that has done everything that he can think of, and has lived a lavish lifestyle, continues to live a lavish lifestyle. We will get to Georges. Like, seriously, we will get to Georges, because that's all I can say with Georges, because you have someone like Peggy. She's beauty and she's got brains too. Kind of got her head screwed on, but then saying that, as I was saying, literally at the wedding, like calling her mum mummy and her dad daddy, and was like, oh, really quite high pitched giggly, and I'm just like, but then I don't know how to put them two together. Like, they're trying to say that Georges has this bravado up in terms of his jokes and this personality that seems to come out that is quite uncouth and quite irritating. That's the word for it, irritating. It was irritating. And the way he kept on going on about he likes big false boobs, and as long as she's got some big tartars that he can get lost in. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, First impressions of Georges, jury's still out. Jury is definitely still out on that one. My first impressions of him, jury's definitely still out, because I'm just like, I couldn't deal with someone like you. Your friends probably know who you are and how you are deep down, in that sense, in your family, but first impressions sometimes are everything at the end of the day, and he did not give me good first impressions. He did not instill me with any type of confidence at all. He was rude, like rude. So then we move on to Tasha. And basically she's explained that she's in previous relationships, they've been quite toxic and fast. And I'm like, I hope that you're open to this experiment in that sense. I know people are going to have the insecurities, as I keep on saying, but as I always say, and I'm going to keep saying, is they need to do the work before they come on these shows. Like, seriously, they need to have some kind of resilience in regards to dealing with certain situations that may come about. And they pair her with Paul. Now, these two are the youngest couple of this series, and they pair her with Paul. He was a young black lad, and he is from an African family. And he's already said that his mum is a proper African mum. in regards to everything, and she's full into her Christianity. So time comes when this lovely lot have to tell their families that, you know, they're getting married to strangers. At first, Peggy's mum and dad, a little bit offish, but then they came around. Georgie's family, he's a grown man at the end of the day, so he makes his decisions in that sense. But Paul's mum was like, yeah, nah, that is not going to happen. Paul's mum was not having it in the slightest, and she didn't change her mind until they got to the wedding reception and she managed to have a chat with Tasha. Paul's mum was not on that bandwagon, and she told him she weren't coming to that wedding. At first she said she weren't coming, and Paul was like, you know, you really wouldn't come to the wedding? No, because I would not have met your fiance. I don't know if she's going to treat you well or not. I don't know what faith she's going to be in, and I think that's that was her main crux and her main worry. She didn't know who this person was. She didn't have the opportunity to get to know this person, to know if she was going to be a right fit for her son. But at the end of the day, all I would say is your boy is a grown boy. But at the end of the day, I could kind of see where she's coming from, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be traditionalness in regards to certain cultures and the way in which they work when it comes to family, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to children and all of that stuff, to be fair. And bearing in mind is Paul is still living at home with his parents. So of course she's still going to see him as her baby. She ain't really going to see him as the grown man that he actually is, and a grown man to actually make the decisions that he wants to make. And the decision he's making is he wants to get married to someone, and this is the way that he's going to do it. And he's basing this as well off his best mate, who unfortunately passed away, and he's seen it as life is too short to keep going down a certain path, and he wants to find his one. So he says, why not the expert try and find him and fit him with someone that will be his one at the end of the day. And that's why he's gone down the path that he's gone. That was a lot. Like, seriously, that was a lot. So then we get to Paul and Tasha's wedding, and mum does turn up, which is nice to see. Mum, dad, and the rest of, like, some of the family, all of Tasha's people turn up as well. And basically when Tasha and Paul meet, it's like instant. Like with Jay and Luke, it's instant, like proper instant with them both. And you can see this as this plays out in regards to when they get to wedding reception and stuff like that. Like, he starts to get to learn a little bit more about her, and she learns a little bit more about him. And she's actually a Christian girl. She's brought up in the Christian faith, and she's continued to be active in that Christian faith. What I will say is, though, flipping back, is even though Paul's mom came, she went to him first and was trying to convince him to literally step away from this experiment. So at this point, she still was not happy. She still was not happy with how this was going on. But Paul stood his ground and says, no, this is what he wants to do. So he wants to live his life with his wife, basically. So you see Tasha basically wanting to have that chat with the mom, because Paul literally did let her know that his mum was not on board. Like, she gave him grief. She was steadfast in it, that she really didn't want him to do this. So already she's kind of like, well, I'm gonna have to try and impress this mum, because I'm already on the back foot, because I've came in and I've taken her son away, and she doesn't know anything about me, or in terms of whether I'm going to be a good fit for her son. Because at the end of the day, she was right, she's saying that's her child, so I've got to respect his mum, and hopefully his mum will respect her. So I'm not too sure if it was after the speeches or just before Paul did his speech that she went and had, well, the mum ended up coming over and speaking to her. So then they went off and had this chat, and basically Tasha told her where her thoughts were and where her religious path lay, in regards that she is a Christian, she's an active Christian. Now, mum was happy with that. Mum was absolutely happy with that and was smiling, and it gave her a sense of relief, because she knew you've been brought up in Christianity, so you will know what it is to be a wife and how you should be treating my son, and vice versa. So she gave her a hug. So everything kind of worked out in that bit. which was nice. And it was also nice to see that when Paul was struggling to read his speech in regards to Tasha, and then talking about the people who he loved and who were there for him, and talking about them individually, and it came to his friend who had passed away, and it took him some time to get there, which is understandable. She got up from the table and gave him that emotional reassurance, so gave him a hug and says, it's okay, you can do it, and stayed there until he started talking, and then went and sit down. I'm like, yeah, good girl. She had a good one there, sir. And the mum liked that. The mum liked that she got up and went and provided that reassurance for her husband. And Georgie's wedding, and again he's still on his fuck shit, and I'm just like, seriously, mate, is this really you, or is it, or do the experts really think this is bravado, or this is just not who this guy is? Because he's just absolutely ridiculous. Now my case would be that he's acting up for the camera. Like, he wants to be entertainment for the camera. That's how I'm seeing it. He's still talking about breasticles at the end of the day. And I'm just sitting there thinking, does this man have any depth at all? Because I haven't seen anything thus far, if that he has any depth. Even when he's talking about himself in the VC, I've not seen any depth come from this man. He's just kind of one-dimensional and kind of visual and fixated on this woman having giant false boobs. I just don't know what's wrong with him. I really, and Andy didn't do very well in his, when it came to he didn't do very well when it came to the after part, but we will get to that. We will get to that. Now, he started off strong at this wedding, because when he started saying his vows, he started saying it in French, and she was loving it, because I think he does that all the time. I think that sometimes for George, it's his go-to in terms of speaking French, because he thinks it will melt a woman's panties and endear them to him. So he puts on a bit of a show for them. So then he started to turn it into English. Now, another sister whose face don't have no chill is Peggy's sister. Like, she was not going to brook no argument with this man. The jury was still out for her on him. So then you get to the wedding reception, and basically Peggy's sister literally has this conversation with him in regards to how he is, how he's going to treat her, and basically saying to him that you're essentially a stranger. I don't know how you're going to treat my sister, but I'm telling you now, I'm here for my sister at the end of the day, and I'm not going to have you make her look like no fool, because that's essentially what she was saying. I'm not going to make you have my sister look like no fool. I'm going to make sure that you are the right fit for her. So as she's talking to him, he winks at someone. Don't ask me who he's winking at, but he winks at someone, and she calls him out for his rudeness because she's talking to him. And I'm like, yeah, that is rude, because that's showing the other person who's talking to you that you're not listening to one word that they are saying to you. Not one iota of a word are you listening to that they are saying to you. So basically he apologizes and brings himself back to the conversation, and he's trying to reassure the sister, but as again, I think the jury's still out on that one. So then it moves to the best man speeches. And I'm like, George, where the fuck did you find this friend? And like, George is like, oh God, it's going to go downhill from here. So basically, he's already preempted what's going to happen. This man started talking about how this dude in budgie smugglers at a pool, and Paul was going to do to himself. Nobody laughed, and everybody just looked as if to say, how is that funny? How is that funny? And then he goes off into a soliloquy of how George is and how he can be, and that you may find it quite irritating, but it's something that you're going to have to get used to. I was like, wow. Even at that point, I would have said, no, do you know what? Can I leave now, please? Can I go? I really don't, I don't think the experts have done a great job here. Can I go? I don't see it. I really don't see it, because I don't know how he's going to calm his ass down enough for her to get to know him, because this personality that he's got ain't the one. Like, in small doses, yeah, but it's like it's a constant thing. I'm just like, I'd end up going, I'd end up locking myself in a fucking room just to get away from the fucking rubbish. Yeah, I'm feeling it for Peggy right now. I hope Peggy has a bit of a backbone, because I have a feeling she's going to need one with George, because I have a feeling that he will literally be quite dominant within that relationship. So I'm hoping Peggy has a bit of a backbone to say what she will accept and won't accept, because yeah, he has not endeared himself to me either. So as again with this episode, this is where I am going to leave it. And as I already explained at the beginning of this video, that I will be back on Monday and Tuesday with episodes for Love is Blind season 5, so watch out for those. And then straight after that, I'll be back with Married at First Sight, the rest of the episodes that will be showing over that period. So as again, my lovely lot, thank you for riding with me until the end of this video. As I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button, and I'll be back on your screens very, very soon. Peace out.